I just want to say straight up, this is a pretty raw video. I don't have much planned for this because it's gonna come from the soul. It's gonna come from the soul. I want to talk about Crazy Rich Asians. Crazy Rich Asians recently came out in theaters and I went to go watch it in Singapore. I'm in Singapore right now. And it was a surreal experience, not only in terms of the visuals and the plot, but also seeing Asians on screen. Me being an Asian Canadian, being an Asian filmmaker, it was really, really just a moment. So I realized that there are three big topics that really were discussed, were shown in the movie, and I want to touch upon them because all three of them really, really just hit my soul. And one of them made me cry. Didn't even have anything to do with what was on screen, it just made me cry. So let's get into them. First topic I want to talk about is how Crazy Rich Asians showcased the hyphenated Asian story. Now, Asian American, Asian Canadian, Asian British, Asian Australian, I call that hyphenated Asians. We all relatively have the same story. We're Asians and we don't belong anywhere. We don't belong in our own countries because we look different from the majority, and we don't belong in our home countries because we don't think the same, we don't speak the same language, etc. That really resonated with me. Growing up in Canada, I never felt belonging anywhere. I was an in-betweener. And so to see Rachel really just being an Asian American in a foreign environment, that was like, wow, I was seeing myself. I want to tell you a story of mine. So growing up, I was into YouTube and filmmaking and all of that. And a reason why I got into that was because I wanted to tell my stories, my hyphenated Asian stories. Because in Hollywood, you never saw that. You didn't even see Asians as lead roles. Unless you were a martial artist like Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan, Asians were reserved for stereotypes or at the butt of a joke. It was really sad for me. So my friends would tell me, Jensen, just go watch Asia cinema, which I did. Hong Kong movies, Chinese movies, those were a part of my childhood, but they were different because those were Asian stories. They were not hyphenated Asian stories. Only half of me could relate to them. So when I got into filmmaking, I really wanted to tell the hyphenated Asian stories. But not only that, I wanted to show that hyphenated Asians, we did not live to the stereotypes, that we could be romantic, that we could be funny, that we could be courageous. And that's what really pushed me into the second topic, which is Asian representation. Crazy Rich Asians, changing up the Hollywood formula, showcasing a full Asian cast on screen. The last movie to do it was 25 years ago, The Joy Luck Club. The thing was, I grew up within those 25 years. So I never really got a chance to watch it or even feel the hype around it. And the thing was, this movie kind of just faded into history, which is kind of sad. So for Crazy Rich Asians, I really hope that this is the monumental milestone to really tell Hollywood that these movies can be successful and to create more stories, more movies featuring an Asian cast or hyphenated Asian stories. So for me, making my films, making my YouTube videos, this was my way of contributing to Asian representation. And so one of the biggest ways for me to showcase that was to, of course, cast Asian Canadians in my films. But the thing was, I had some backlash, right? On several occasions, I've had people come up to me and said, yo, Jensen, your videos are great, but you should cast more white people. And I was always taken aback. Not because I oppose diversity in my films, which I definitely don't. It's just that simply due to the fact that my cast was primarily Asian, they chose to devalue my film. They chose to see it immediately as unprofessional or unrelatable. The thing was, some of these people were Asian themselves. So for me, it's just like, you know what? Screw that. I, as an Asian Canadian, write my own scripts. And if I derive most of my stories from my own experiences, why can't I cast an Asian Canadian in this Asian Canadian story? This is my way of giving Asian Canadians, hyphenated Asians, a platform to tell their stories, to express themselves in a world that already is lacking in representation for hyphenated Asians. And so for the third topic, Crazy Rich Asians addressed upon was Asian masculinity. There are so few films out there with Asian male leads in romantic films or any films in Hollywood. So this film really propelled Asian males as people that can be attractive, that can be romantic, or whatever. In media, especially in Western media, Asian males have often been looked down upon or has been deemed unattractive. Even in Romeo Must Die, Jet Li and Aaliyah, they didn't kiss in the end, they hugged in the end. Hollywood media created a stereotype for Asian men that they can't be masculine. So for Crazy Rich Asians to change that perspective and to showcase male masculinity for Asians, I think that was just really great. So those are the three topics, and I want to talk about one more thing. So I cried 3 times during Crazy Rich Asians. 2 of them were because of things on screen, but one of them was literally 10 minutes into the film. Nothing was happening on screen, but the thing was, the surreal moment that I was watching Asians, a hyphenated Asian story on screen, it just really got to me. And so I started tearing up, I guess, because this moment is so rare, it's so monumental, and I just really hope that this isn't just a one-time thing. I think in the future, there's gotta be more, there's gotta be more, there's gotta be more. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. It's very impromptu, very raw. I just want to get my story out there and show you guys what I felt and thought about Crazy Rich Asians and all this discussion that's been created by it. So if you watched the film already, make sure to let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on Crazy Rich Asians. Did you connect to it? Are you Asian? Are you not Asian? Did you still connect with it? I'd love to know, because really it is a universal story in the end. It's just with an Asian twist to it. I did make a video as well with my Singaporean friend Hakeem. We talk about the specific Singaporean representation in the film and what they got right and wrong about Singapore. Check that out. The link is in the description below. Other than that, make sure to hit the like button for this video, subscribe, and peace out.